What's up? Today we're in Ecclesiastes 12, verses 9 through 14. In verses 9 through 10, we read about how the teacher Solomon went to a really great lengths to make sure that he could share wisdom with people and that it was clearly communicated. And starting in verse 11, it says, "The words of the wise are like goads, their collected sayings like firmly embedded nails given by one shepherd." Now, first of all, what is a goad? A goad is essentially a cattle prod. It's a stick with a sharp object or a nail at the end, and it's used to redirect livestock and animals to put them on the right path. So Solomon is saying here that the words of the wise sometimes can be painful, but it's a pain that leads to life. It's not a pain that leads to destruction. And he says that this has been given by one shepherd. So even though he's gone to all these lengths to make sure he could clearly communicate wisdom, he's saying wisdom truly comes from God. Then he goes on to say in verse 12, "Be warned of anything in addition to them. Of making many books there is no end, and much study wearies the body." What is he trying to say here? I think what he's talking about is a couple things. One, I think he's inviting us to prioritize the wisdom that comes from God over the wisdom that comes from other sources. Then second, I think he's saying we could go on this search for knowledge for the rest of our lives. We could try to read every book, try to find wisdom from every place, and essentially it's just going to lead to exhaustion. Instead, he's saying that we should live this out. We should prioritize God's wisdom and live that out in our lives rather than trying to get more and more wisdom from every single source that's out there. At some point, you have to live it out. Then he goes on in verse 13, he says, "Now all has been heard. Here's the conclusion of the matter." So this is the conclusion of everything we've been reading. It says, "Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind." And when he says fear God, you might be thinking, well, I thought God is love. I thought God is good. And that's true. God is love and God is good. But what I think he's getting at is this idea of a healthy, holy reverence for God and who he is. Think about it like this. When you go to the ocean, if you're someone that likes to go to the beach for vacation and you like to swim in the ocean water, it can be a really fun thing to do, right? It can be joyful. It can be just something that is refreshing. But we also know that if we don't respect the water and the power that the ocean has, that it could lead to injury or even worse. And I think it's the same way with God. He is good. He is love. He is gracious and kind. But he's also sovereign over all. He's also all-powerful and holy. There's no one like him. He's really the only one that when we say the word awesome, it really only applies to him. He's the only one that's truly awe-inspiring. So we are to have a holy reverence for him. And then we are to follow his commandments, to keep his commandments. It says this is the duty, not just for believers, but really for all mankind. And in doing so, we will live lives of wisdom. So let's remember, sometimes wisdom hurts, but that pain is putting us on the right path. Let's remember to prioritize the wisdom that comes from God and to have a holy reverence for him and to keep his commandments. And when we do that, we will live lives of wisdom here on earth. God bless you.